Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Abishai by Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered, hopefully elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that are mixed among the heathen nations that be like unto the speckled bird. And to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago. Coming at you with a quick lesson, and the name of this lesson is going to be the plagues, or plagues from on high. And I'm going to open with 2nd Ezra 16 and 1. I'm going to probably read down to verse 4. And it reads, "Woe be unto Babylon and Asia, woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up your loins with cloths of sack, hair, and bewail your children, and be sorry. For your destruction is at hand. The sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire sent among you, and who may quench it?" And all the things that I've just read are all happening in the earth right now as we speak, and they're only going to continue to get worse. And who can stop it? See, the hand of the Lord is now upon this place. All right? And there's nothing that anyone can do to turn it back. All right? And he is on his way out. And this is a report from Michael Snyder. All right? And the name of it is The End of the American Dream. And then he goes on to talk about the 10 plagues that are plaguing the planet all at once. And all this was prophesied in the Bible. The men of the Lord, especially the men of the Great Millstone, and the few camps that teach the likewise doctrine, have been telling you, since 2007 on the YouTube, and then the elders, 20 something years before that, have been telling you and warning you of these things to come. And now a lot of people are starting to see it and fear, but it's too much, too little, too late. And E is getting desperate. Like, I just watched a video that the brother from the Mystery of the Kingdom put up about how China is getting ready to round up and destroy a lot of money. And behind this coronavirus, which is one of these plagues, Corona, aka Raccoon City. Any of you have ever seen the what do they call those movies? The Resident Evil movies. How the that plague broke out in China, broke out in Asia. But yeah, Corona, and you reverse the letters, and it's raccoon. And it's funny that the disease broke out in the same place. It's just kind of ironic, don't you think? But nevertheless, you've been pre-warned. You've been pre-warned of that. All right. So these 10 plagues that are upon the planet at the same time is nothing but a visitation from Yahweh B'Shem Abishai. Let's get some scriptures to prove it, and then I'm going to read through these plagues. All right, these things that are happening. And this is 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 1. And it reads, "He answered me, then said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." The end is manifest, man. It's happening. This thing is going down. You're witnessing the downfall of the current rulership here in the earth, and the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, which is Esau Edom, aka the so-called white man. All right. He's gone by many aliases over the centuries, over the millennium. All right. His first alias was the Greeks. His second alias was the Romans. All right. Then the name in Rome became the Idumeans. All right. You had your Jewish converts, and Idumeans, and then they became the Caucasians, the Europeans, the Caucasians, and then in 1681 in Virginia they labeled themselves white people. All right, and now they've come to the end of their road. This is the end, so expect them to get more violent. I do believe that, just as a brother said in this video, that the China is all a test run. It's all a test run. I was believing that America hit China with that, but now I'm beginning to doubt that. But nevertheless, it's all the same agenda, because when you read about that crafty council that was against the Israelites, Ammon and Moab is a part of that. So, and then China is, the biggest population in the world, and they need to get rid of a lot of their people. So there it is, man. And so now with the spread of this, with America, people exchanging cash for transactions and things like that, same thing happens in China. And now this virus has been said that it survived on the surface for up to 14 days. So a $20 bill or $5 bill could get passed between possibly 1,000 different hands within 14 days, man. So look at how many people could get affected. So that's going to be an easy excuse, as I believe, to conceal the collapse of the dollar, because more than likely the dollar will collapse this year, the way things are looking. These plagues are also causing food backups, which is going to cause famine. All right, definitely going to cause a famine, because you got food sitting in those ports in China, and there's no people to deliver them, no crane operators to pull the crates down, no truck drivers to take the stuff. So you got freezer trailers full of meat, full of abominable foods. You were talking about China, but full of chicken and meat and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and go through some of these plagues, and think about this too. This is all the 2020, man. It started off with Soleimani, and then there's a storm of events. All right, so plague number 1, the army of locusts, which is the size of major cities, man. Could you imagine a plague of locusts the size of Chicago? You have any idea how big Chicago is, man? Chicago is a really big city, man. It's not small, or the size of Brooklyn. That's insane, man. All right, but it says they're so big, and there's many of them. It's not just one. They got these different things, and they're moving across. They've moved across Africa into Asia and moving forward. So they've reached China already. So they could also spread the disease too. But they're eating up all the plant life, all the crops and things. So they can clear out whole crops in 30 seconds. That's how many of them it is. That they can eat all the foliage and and land on a cornfield, on a field full of carrots, and eat the leaves and the seeds or whatever. Just whatever, man. They're devouring everything in that path. All right, you could kill them by the thousands and it wouldn't do anything. It's so many of them. All right, it's a horde. All right. Plague number 2, the bizarre weather patterns. California just got hit with 209 mile per hour gust winds, man. That's like tornado force winds. All right. And then you got those storms in Australia that's coming now after the fires. And guess what? That's just going to bring on crazy flooding, because all the foliage and the Lord, that's how the Lord does this, man. Just like he does in California with all those fires, and then there's no rain, and all of a sudden the rain comes, and then you got mudslides that slide down and destroy the houses, the homes, and the people, because there's no foliage, no leaves, no green, no nothing rooted to keep the soil rooted, so the soil gets wet. And since there's no foliage and roots into the soil just breaks loose, 3 or 4 feet of it, and just slides, man. The Lord is a tactician, a master chess player. Hey, he's not was he not called Alashadya, oh demon-like power? Is he not the king of terrors? Plague number 3 is flooding. You got flooding in the world, flooding to the U.S. in the South. All right, so bad that people forced to leave their homes, and then you got assholes that's going there robbing people while they're out of their homes, man. People coming back to their homes because there was some areas where they had to evacuate and the flooding didn't hit them. And when they go back home, all their doors is open, man. They all been robbed. So, hey, a house divided cannot stand, man. And America is a divided nation. All right. And E is a divided nation. They're falling, man. Okay. Plague number 4. You got major earthquakes. One just called a tsunami in the Caribbean, man. Okay. You got volcanoes erupting worldwide. Volcanic eruptions going on worldwide. Okay. The coronavirus. This is number 6. The coronavirus, aka Raccoon City. All right, and we already see what that's doing. You know, that's spread to the whole world at this point. And you had a meeting, I believe it was in Washington yesterday or the day before. You had a meeting of over I forget how many. It was a pretty large amount of officials were meeting on how to on basically preparing for it to storm across America the same way it has in China. You know, life seems normal at this point. It's not. It is not, man. And America is finally about to. Hey, these Edomites in America, they're already feeling it, but they're about to really feel it, man. All right, you heathens and you 2/3 too. And plague number 7, you got African swine flu, which is killing off pigs over there. So the price of pork is skyrocketing. But you're not supposed to be eating pork anyway. It destroys and kills your body, man. It's unclean for you to eat. You know, that's why so many people are unhealthy, especially Jake. All right. But, you know, Americans are so fat and everybody's got high blood pressure and high cholesterol and you know, heart disease and diabetes because they eat too much pork. They eat too much abominable foods and they eat way too much sweets. So you got, as a matter of fact, the average person in America that has diabetes also has high blood pressure. I couldn't imagine. Oh my God. All right. I went through that high blood pressure thing, man. It's no fun. And, you know, and just changed my diet, added more cardio and bam, it's fine. It's gone. You know, you can heal and cleanse yourself, man. Number 8, the H1N1 swine flu is now a threat to people. That's back. Okay. Then you got the H5N1 bird flu, and they've had to kill thousands upon thousands of chickens as a result of that. And that threat is out there because that's going to mess up more of the food supply. And then number 10 is the H5N8 bird flu, which is worldwide. That's worldwide, and that's weakened. That's a major threat to people. And you also have to consider the weakened immune systems because of the constant chemtrailing that they do here in America and around the world, man. So this is last scripture is Luke 21, and I'm starting verse 9. It says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by." So no, that the end is not here yet. It just means that the end is getting close, man. All right. You know, and now you got a new war in Syria. Now you got Turkey fighting with the Syrians, man. Which the Turks are Amalek, and I never even thought about it. But you know, it says that the least of the flock shall draw them out. You know, hey, that could be the Amalekites in Turkey. It could very well happen. You know. This because that they are in the Valley of Jehoshaphat. So you got, you know, the Israelis. We'll see what happens, man. But nevertheless, it still would match the prophecy because they are also Amalekites, you know, which is the least of the flock. All right. This is Luke 21:10. Then said he unto them, "Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." And that's what you're witnessing. With the breakup of the EU, you had the Brexit. Now you got the Frexit on the table, you know, which is basically France and Germany leaving NATO. If I do believe I think they've already departed from the EU, or one of them they've broken away from. All right, but now they're talking. Now I think they broke away from NATO already, and now they're talking about leaving the EU. All right, verse 11. Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and great signs shall be from heaven. But before all these things, they shall lay hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and to the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for thy name's sake, and that being the men of the Lord and the people of the Lord who believed. All right, he is going to put his hands on us. But as the scriptures say, once they start putting their hands on, all these things are happening. Once they start putting their hands on us, the Lord's going to lift up their standards. So this thing is close, and they're close to start snatching and grabbing us up. So with that, all praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Bashim Abishai, Wa Abba Babal. Shalom.